Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name's Andy, Corporate Commander TFW, and I'm joined by the green stuff himself. It's Mikey, G-Wolfie3. Hello, Mikey.
I am green with illness and envy.
Yay!
And mostly the moss.
Mostly the moss.
Mostly the moss.
As in the IT crowd, the moss. The Richard of the Iowadis.
I would be concerned if he was growing off me.
He might not be, I don't know. He seems...
And affecting my color. Why am I green? Why in this context am I green?
Because he's absorbing your life essence, draining you of that to fuel his rebirth.
Trying to regrow that 1/4 of hair that he was clearly just missing. It wasn't styled that way. It was just like a perfect weird Pac-Man.
I never knew that, but that's interesting. If that's the case, I don't know. I don't know Richard Iowati. If Richard Iowati wants to come on the show, you know, he's more than welcome to.
I don't know how I'd approach that.
What do you mean? Richard Iowati being on our show?
Mostly because I keep thinking I'll fuck up his name.
Richard Iowati. Well, just never say his name and I'll say it for you every time.
Richard Ayahuasca, I want to call him.
No, he's not ayahuasca. Ayahuasca's that weird LSD kind of drug, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's not that. He's certainly
Might
not.
be. Maybe he's an LSD for someone.
Are you saying, like, if you lick him like a toad, he will take you on a magical journey?
That's why I'm not allowed back in the zoo.
The only reason.
I just want to take the toad.
We're here to talk about Transformers this week, believe it or not. Not about...
Are we?
Well, hopefully we're not here to talk about going into zoos licking animals. That's a different kind of podcast. That's a Patreon-only show right there. Find out how to get in the zoo from Mikey. So we're going to kick off this week with crappy news, because that's how we do this doo-diddy-dum-dums. So let me tell you, Mikey, about Hallmark Christmas ornaments. We've got more of them.
Yoshi's going to be a happy man.
Is he?
He buys this crap, doesn't he?
I don't know. I assume so, even though there's nothing Christmassy about them. I still attest if all they have to do, put a little Christmas hat on them, that's it. That's all you have to do. And I'm a bit more... I'm not going to buy it. I'm a bit more sold on them. These look like bars of soap that you can hang off your tree, I think is the best way to describe them. They are going to be $7 each, as I mentioned, from Hallmark. How would you describe this Optimus and Bumblebee, Mikey?
I think Bumblebee's killed before.
You know what they look like to me? They look like, the shape of them and the way that they've been molded, they look like a Jell-O mold. Like, if you turn them around, they'd be hollow and you could pour, like, a liquid in there for it to gelatine. I don't know what the verb is for making Jell-O or jelly. What is the verb for jelloing? To Jell-O?
To Julu?
Deuce Bigelow male jelly-lo?
Deuce Jello male Bigelow?
European Adventure? It was a sequel to that movie for some reason.
Was there?
Yeah, it was Deuce Bigelow, European Gigolo or something like that.
Why?
Because he needed to have money.
But he didn't... the whole gag was that he didn't have sex with anyone that entire movie, except that one time for free.
Yeah, but you know what's funny, Mikey? If you do the same joke again, but in a different country, I guess I never saw it.
But how do you work in the narcolepsy this time around?
I don't know. Maybe you got over it.
That girl had narcolepsy.
I think we found out what you've got to watch for over the week, Mikey.
Maybe not.
Because I've never seen Deuce Bigelow male Gigolo. I've only seen
how
bits
have you not seen Deuce Bigelow?
Because I have taste.
No, it's a good movie.
I don't actually. I don't have taste.
It's a good movie.
I don't believe you.
It's a good movie.
It's
a good movie. It's from the time everyone cared about him. Before, the time passed and no one cared about him. I mean, it's not like The Animal where he's running around going, oh, oh. That was weird, where they've got just like real animal sound effects coming out of Rob Schneider's face.
Oh, God.
Rob Schneider is the animal.
Oh, no. But ornaments, Mikey. Tell me of your thoughts on ornaments.
They look like they are made of plush until you see the Optimus one and it's catching the light.
Yes.
They look terrible. They don't even look like child-friendly ornaments. And again, why no Christmas theme?
Like, imagine a snowman-shaped Bumblebee or a snowman-shaped Megatron, or a little ornament display where you have a Starscream or a Soundwave building a snowman Megatron and Megatron looking annoyed in the background.
Or Santa Megatron.
That would be cool. Yeah, that'd be all right.
Or an elf Bumblebee or something. Something to make me go jingle bells.
Reindeer Grimlock.
Yeah. Why not? I know there's actually a picture of that somewhere.
Is there? Oh, okay.
I'm sure there is. So this is just like, hey, want something to put in your tree that will look wholly out of place?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? No.
Well, here it is. Here's more of it.
I don't want that.
Yeah, so, I mean, get ready for more of that, I guess, Yoshi. They're coming. Another bit of crappy news, I suppose. Maybe not. I'm not a watch connoisseur, but Transformers Evergreen Bumblebee gift card and Autobot watch at Walmart. I'm guessing, actually, after the term Walmart and the price that this is going for, I doubt this is like a high-end collectible watch that watch people will get giddy over. So you can go to Walmart and pick up a Autobot watch. It's just got the Autobot insignia, in it. It's a black watch featuring the red Autobot insignia and comes in a nice case, which I would imagine is standard.
No, it doesn't. I would say nice case is... I have a nice watch.
Oh, well.
I have quite a nice watch, I have to admit. I don't wear it very often, but I have a nice watch. That is in a nice case. Mm-hmm. This is in a tin.
It is.
This is a tin.
An evergreen tin.
This is a cheaply made evergreen tin.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade here.
No, Mikey, let's call a tin a tin. Come on.
It's so cheaply made for $15.88. It's sandwiched between a Black Panther watch and a Five Nights at Freddy's watch.
So it is. Oh, there you go, lads.
And ladies. Do you want to wear a Five Nights at Freddy's watch?
I mean, if I was a big fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, maybe.
You know what? If I was a big fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, I'd want a high quality Five Nights at Freddy's watch.
That's true. I wouldn't want a cheapo one.
One that literally jump scared you.
What sends an electric shock every hour through your body?
Yeah. You're playing that bloody game, apart from for the first hour before the jump scares stop working. I could see you as being a person who'd like a bit of a shock every now and then.
Are you not a person that plays it for the story, though? And the lore.
Go away.
There are thousands of videos on the story and the lore. And there are books about it, Mikey.
Yeah, I just wish anyone involved in it knew what the story and the lore was. Because they clearly don't. He clearly don't. Scott, what's his name, is clearly playing a different game to the rest of us. Where he's like, I know what I've just... It's not even like he knows what's going on. He's clearly making the shit up as he goes along.
It felt like
because, my God, is so much of it incompatible.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like that whole bite of X, whenever it was 1984 or whenever it was. I'm just like, oh, this is the bite. Next game. No, this is the bite. Next game. No, this is the bite. Don't even... The bloody Purple Man. And just like, we had a nice, simple thing about a murderer who got spooked by ghosts and turned into a bad rabbit.
To be fair, though, he made some hella money off that.
He did.
Hella money. Money.
You know what? Community writing. I'll leave that to SCP and stuff like that. Not something where I'm paying money.
But no, like you said, Mr. Mikey, the watch here is $15, 88 random 88 cents shoved on the end there. And you can also get Evergreen Walmart Bumblebee gift card. So it's a gift card, but with Evergreen Bumblebee design on it. So whoop-de-doo, I suppose. Do you have any thoughts at all on these things, Mr. Mikey? Because I can't say I'm too interested in a kind of cheapo watch, basically.
I'll be completely honest, Andy. I have no time for it.
Oh, fuck. I'm letting the silence sit because there's the silence with the audience as well who aren't laughing. The only person who would laugh at this is Wayne because he's a bad person. And it might actually have just been a pity laugh from Wayne to make me feel better. Never mind. Mikey.
And Andy, will you just clock on with it?
Oh, fuck me. Jesus Christ,
I'm not giving you a hand with this.
I'm
not giving you a hand with this.
Ugh.
You're kicking me off.
Just take us on, Mikey, for God's sake. This is why I edit you. God damn it.
Oh, Andy, you need to unwind.
Nah! Puns. Welcome to Pun City.
Put up a good face.
Oof.
I'm happy, and that's the important thing. Moving on. Because we've got no time to hang around. Moving on, we've got some stuff from Perfect Effect. Last week we announced their rather rapid jet. What are they calling it? Jet Power Revive Prime, which is their G1 to movie hybrid Optimus Prime.
Roid Rage Prime.
Yeah, pretty much. He goes from a kind of G1 with movie stylings to movie stylings with G1. Kind of an interesting toy, I have to admit. Mm-hmm. But we get our prototype shots. So we see him with the Studio Series Ratchet, Bumblebee, and Jazz. He's got a stand in these pictures in his combined form. I don't know if that's just because of the prototype thing. Considering the size of his feet, I would assume it's a prototype thing, unless it's like he's overpowering the ratchets. And again, that would make me think it's just the materials he's made out of.
Yeah, possibly.
We also get him with Voyager Megatron. We get to see sort of a scale to show that Jazz and Bumblebee will fit on the trailer. I don't know if there'll be room inside the trailer for them, but wait and see. We get to see a nice shot of the robot mode, the base robot mode from front and back. I'm still really liking this. Definitely more into the base robot mode than the combined one. The combined one has all the trappings combined ones kind of get in trouble with, which is just there's too much going on. Plus, he's going to look a little Megazordy with like blue feet that go onto a big black slab of feet. Assuming it's black, but really do think this is a nice little project. Style, it's something I'm always pushing for. More stylization.
Yes.
Like more interesting takes and originality and creativity. This is a nice, creative, like I'd say it's kind of like what if Jetfire and Optimus kind of combined into something a lot more God Jinrai-ish.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or like vaguely Gao-Gaigarish, but then everything is. Wait, that doesn't work because Jinrai came first. But Andy, what's your thoughts on this guy?
It's still pretty much the same as what it was before. It looks neat. It looks. I'm interested to see how it looks painted up. It works. Does it work with the movie toys? Because I'm not sure it does. It might be too stylized. I think.
I think it kind of works in this prototype phase better than it will when it's fully painted up.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm sitting as well, because I think once it paints up, it's going to look too, shall we say, Japanesey.
Yeah.
It'll look too Japanesey next to the very mechanical designs that we have for the movie. It might work. Maybe they will pull off it with paint, and it'll just slide right in.
Then again, I don't think it needs to on any level.
No, but
like,
I mean,
it
feels like they are kind of selling it as a movie Optimus Prime in a sense.
Yeah, but it's again that stylized element. There's this thing in the fandom where like it needs to fit into one of my shelves. It's just like just put it on a weird shelf full of weird toys.
I don't think fans like doing that though.
Yeah, well, fans are not always the ones to ask in the creative process, shall we say.
But they are the
going
market
into
that they're selling stuff to.
They'll still buy it.
If this does well, maybe this will open up an ideal path for them to, keep going and make other movie characters in this kind of bizarre, extra Japanese style.
I'd love to see their take on Megatron.
What about Bumblebee?
I'd love to see their take on Megatron.
Yeah. Could be interesting.
I don't know which Megatron I'd like to see them tackle, but because there's how many of them in the movies, including Galvatron 5?
Well, since they have the one with the Prime with the backpack here, how about the Fallen? And how about they fix the Fallen's design?
Oh, that would be nice.
So he's not you saw the movie. You've seen the toy.
That just admit you didn't design him with an alt mode.
The worst thing about it is, he has that stupid thing where you pick him up and his feet close, so you have to spread his feet down to put him down.
No, or you have to get that perfect angle coming down. Like, it used to drive me nuts. It worked better. There was a Megatron that did the same thing. It worked better on him, but he had 2 flat feet.
Right.
So it wasn't like 4 claws.
It was the big problem with it. It wasn't Skystalker. Who was that plane that Gruff built? Got thousands of or hundreds of. Do you know the one I mean?
Son, the one that got turned into Laserbeak.
I think so. He was like he had a mono eye, turned into stealth jet. He
went with Mind Wipe. He went.
Yeah, they did a G2 repaint of him as well. At some point.
Yeah, and he went with Mind Wipe.
Yeah, whatever that guy was called, him. He had that problem as well.
Skystalker.
Yay, that was it. Skystalker. Sweet. Any other bits on this Prime though, Mikey?
Not for me. You?
Nah. Is what I say. Let me tell you though, Mr. Mikey, about possibilities and the future, if you would indulge me.
No.
Well, please, Mikey. Let me show you my Vishanti. And let me show you the power of the Time Stone. And my daggers of Danash. The daggers of Danash. Doctor Strange.
I gathered.
I was doing the hands things as well as I was saying all that. As you have
I gathered.
Right, so possible new encore. Noise Graphy. That's Graphy.
That's his name.
That's his name. And New Frenzy. I hope that's his name.
I want that to be his name.
New Frenzy redeco.
It goes with new Soundwave.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it has to happen.
Oh, yes. This needs to be the Star Dub toy. This needs. Oh man.
See, I thought it would just be New Frenzy would just be Rumble.
Nah.
And then Japan draws that line in the sand that says, "Fuck you. This is how it is." I'd like that. So this is listed from. Here we go. 302.10 Malaysian ringgit, or listed for. Oh, is ringgit their currency?
I'm assuming so.
I've never heard of what Malaysian currency is, but okay. Approximately 72.95. I'm assuming that's dollars that they're approximating it to. It's expected to be released in September of 2019, so next year. Wow, okay, that is a rumor.
Okay.
Similar to the previously reported Masterpiece 10 Ghostbusters, which we'll be talking about. Well, I'll be talking about in a second. I didn't realize this had a link to that. This encore release will be Hasbro Transformers 30th Anniversary Shanghai Exhibition Limited Item. Why don't you just say the 35th Anniversary Shanghai Limited Item? I don't know. This seems like there's more words in than there has to be. Noise or Noizu and Graphy.
Don't be that guy.
Well, no, it says or.
I know. I'm saying this in a broader spectrum. It was stupid when they did it for Dial and Soar. Because no one can say their fucking names, and then you reverse them. I mean, I want those toys. I do, and I want these two, and I think it's a bit of a bitch they're this limited. I hope they get a slightly wider release. But my god, fuck off with the names.
They didn't do anything with Graphy. I kind of wish they'd call him Graphito.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, think of that shit. Get those exade juices pumping.
That needs to be on the box.
That would be great. Are two of the most hard-to-find, expensive G1 exclusive cassettes, Wayne. Buddy.
Yeah, Wayne.
They don't only transform into cool dinosaurs.
Into dinosaurs. Into a dinosaur and a pterosaur.
Made in the 80s.
They don't look as good as the other two do, shall we say?
I mean, that is, again, we're talking about hills to die on. I'm not sure that's one I would want to fight on. But they also can combine, so they are limited by that. I would say the best dinosaur cassettes are still Overkill and Slugfest. Because they only need to worry about being a cassette and a dinosaur. They don't need to combine.
True. But from what I understand, like the actual posability and stuff and the two that are out, it's pretty nuts.
I'm not surprised though, because they'd probably have to do a lot to, mishmash into all the shapes that they have to mishmash into. But, do you want to say who the combined form is, Mikey?
Decibel.
Okay, there you go. There's no extra details on support on the supposed new redeco of Frenzy, since there's only a very small picture of Noise and Graphy on the listings. You can make your best bet on the new color, enemy, animated colors of Rumble. That was my joke. I made that before I read this. Bad.
Oh, you know what they should do?
What?
Just do one who's like straight down the middle, one half frenzy, one half rumble.
Oh, like Christmas, the Christmas edition of some Sentai dudes. Christmas Go Kaiju.
Yeah, or like something. And then like I don't know, they did it in the Hulk once.
Yes,
like
they
Green
did.
Hulk and Red Hulk.
Yeah,
that was
weird.
stupid because I don't really know what advantage that gave them.
No, I can't imagine much. But never mind. So that's interesting that these are going to be coming out. I still wish that the other two were not as faffy to get a hold of. I'm sure they're maybe not as faffy as I'm making it out to be, but it's a shame that they are in a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive along with a Bumblebee that no one really probably wanted that much.
And then they're in a set with a Bumblebee people probably want a bit more, but you still aren't getting the toy you want because you have to Frankenstein both sets together to make the pair. That's the pissing thing. That is that was a dick move.
Yeah.
They could have done here's your good guys, here's your bad guys, but no, they did the dick move.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I do want to pick those up at some point, but I don't know. Like it's still a dick move.
I kind of hope that Japan gets an encore release and just does it like that, but that could be like a Takara Mall exclusive or something with the way that these ones are going, I guess. But it's good that these are coming out. It's going to complete that set. Now you just need to do all of the other really expensive toys that people get scalped over. Go plastic toys. Fix them. Fix them. You got any thoughts on this? Because at the moment, to me, $72.95 for potentially 3 cassettes seems high. Granted, a lot lower than what you would pay for the real versions, or the original versions, but it's still quite high for 3 cassettes.
It is. Like I said, they're this price because if you were buying the originals, you're looking
1,000?
I don't even easily if they're boxed. Like the only thing I've seen go higher is an Overlord, a boxed like mint condition Overlord.
Oh right, okay.
I've seen that go for 1,500.
Really? But you could get them. Oh, I suppose it's those mint and box collectors, though, right? So that makes sense. Yeah.
You know what? No. But
Yay, today.
I really like the dinosaur cassettes. I think they're cool. These are, in my opinion, the weakest of the 4. They're just kind of like I'm trying to remember. I think Noise is the Allosaurus, which is the carnivore. And he's just like I don't know, flip a tape in half. Yeah, that'll work. And the other one's kind of like a really weird laser peak. In terms of the transformation, how it works. But they're neat. I don't know if I'd pay that much for the 3 of them until I thought, like, if the frenzy was something nuts, maybe. But they're a little. That's something I don't really get why they're pricier than the other release was.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah. Oh well, it's still neat. It's still good that it's coming out. So I'll give you a little extra bit of news. As I mentioned, there is going to be a possible Masterpiece 10 Convoy X, the Real Ghostbusters crossover toy. And that's the Real Ghostbusters and not Ghostbusters, so maybe that means cartoon? Question
the real
mark?
I don't know because they had the same like design choices until you got to the ghosts.
Yeah, no,
and the humans. Unless they like come with like a little. Could you imagine if they came with like a 4-figure set?
I doubt it would.
Like Spike one, like those little spikes.
I'll mention what I think this is once. I'll read the rest of the blurb. This would be one very particular crossover and new addition to the extensive list of. There's quite a few repaints of MP-10 at this point. Jesus.
Yeah, I was going to say we were kind of convinced it was done.
Yeah, no, apparently not. Keep rolling that bus on. There are no images, but apparently, according to the description, it is, in quotations, Hasbro Transformers 30th Anniversary Shanghai Exhibition Limited Item again. It includes a truck and a trailer with new logos plus new parts. That's interesting.
That's interesting.
The item is apparently listed for 815 Malaysian ringgit. Which is apparently approximately $196 US. and expected for release in September 2019. So once again, all the way off in the distance. So I think we can probably assume he's going to be painted Ecto 1 colors. I think that's a fairly safe bet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of shocking if he wasn't.
The only other way, the only other color I could see him being painted as is like one of the outfits that the Ghostbusters wear. And that wouldn't.
Can you imagine that in the vehicle mode?
Yeah, that's the thing. It would look not great, and it wouldn't make much sense. Doom Ecto 1 colors makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. I mean, are there any other like big Ghostbuster vehicles?
You're asking the wrong boy. I don't think so.
Do you know what they should be? Because if the world was right,
The
van from Extreme.
Oh yeah, that'd be all right.
Yeah. Do you know why? Because that was the best show.
yeah, it was good.
That was a good show.
It was good. Yeah, it was good. Never made a movie of that though, did they? No, sirree.
With its I'm thinking back, like that was the first show that I can say where they did we're doing the inverted commas token representative characters, and it felt completely natural.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
like none of the main 4 characters are token white male.
No.
Or white heterosexual male. Like none of them hit that normal, like, we've got a guy in a wheelchair, we've got the female goth, we've got the African American, we've got the Hispanic. Like, it's a very broad spectrum approach, and it worked, and they like played it up very well, and the characters were cool.
No,
and the wheelchair guy was, I can't remember his name, but the wheelchair guy was awesome.
He wasn't bad.
He killed many people.
Mikey, what do you think new parts could be? Are we going to assume like ectoplasma pack or whatever they call that stuff?
Maybe, but that...
Or at least a gun that looks like that.
See, I kind of want that for a Shockwave, in all honesty. I think it wouldn't be hard to redo a Shockwave to have that.
Sure.
Optimus, like, I could see that would be something, but I could see that being kind of a faff. And also, that's a lot to make.
Mikey.
Yeah.
They could have done Soundwave into a trap. The ghost trap. Couldn't they? Yeah, because his little chest
blew
could
my mind.
His chest would open up and it would have the hazard stripes over it.
Oh my god! All you'd have to do is flip him over.
Yeah.
All you'd have to. Oh my god! You've actually blown my mind with that.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Fuck this! I want that.
Yep. You could do new parts from him as well and make him less recordery or cassette playery.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have to change a huge amount.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Hey, that would be really good colors too.
Yeah. I mean, you could just changing him to those colors. It would work.
Shit.
Yeah. You're welcome.
And you wouldn't have to repaint MP-10 again.
Yeah, that's a big thing. It would at least be Soundwave coming out instead of MP-10 again. Jesus.
Oh man.
Evangelion, Mikey.
You've ruined it. Shut up. I've ruined it for me.
You're welcome. Something to consider, though. If anyone powerful knows or if you know anyone powerful in the toy making world, you could pass it on. If you know
customizers,
if you know Wei Zhang, they'd probably do that shit. They love their masterpiece toys, and they love. I wouldn't say sticking it to the man, but they could release that alongside or a few months after the Prime. I think they might do okay. I don't know.
Oh man, customizers as well. If you know anyone, if you are one, please do it and send us pictures.
Yeah, sure. Be neat.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. You could do the cassettes up as ghosts. Put them in his chest. It would work.
Oh man. You've ruined every toy ever for me now.
I occasionally have good ideas, rarely have good ideas, but they do happen. They do crop in now and again. Mikey, I want you to tell me about a trailer that isn't going to happen until tomorrow, but we get a preview for today.
Yeah, we've actually got 2 clips that came out.
Yes.
So one was released on YouTube, one was released on Instagram, and these are snippets of the trailer, the main Bumblebee trailer, which is coming out on the 24th, which is going to be the day you're all hearing this, so you'll have probably seen this by now. And we got to see very quick snippets, and usually this would be something we wouldn't really touch on. But there's several things in here that are kind of interesting. I'm going to leave the big ones for the last, but one, we see Blitzwing, and we see him talking, and the dialogue is, "Where is Optimus Prime?" Except I checked that the dialogue isn't matching the mouth movements.
Oh, really?
And I also double-checked, and that's not David Sokolov. What? And I actually, on a hunch, I checked out what Dropkick's voice actor sounds like, because he's a proper actor, and I couldn't tell you who he was. Something Trudeau, Justin Trudeau, I think. Listen to him, and that is a Dropkick line that they have put over a Blitzwing clip. So, but not an unusual thing to do in editing, but because what would have apparently based on the spoilers, that scene is something like Blitzwing's mocking Bumblebee or something, which doesn't really work in a trailer context. But if you want a cool visual of a guy hanging someone over a cliff, have it, change it to make it look like he's interrogating him. But,
makes sense.
Yeah. After that, we had the small other small teaser, and it has three things of note. I'd say. First of all, we hear Optimus Prime's voice, right?
Yes.
And it's Peter Cullen.
He sounds very old.
Bumblebee. And then it's not Peter Cullen.
Is it not?
No. The next line. Going by what it sounded like, also going by a few things I was seeing on Twitter and a few responses from a certain individual, I would say that was John Bailey.
Really? You think so?
And he's being very cagey on Twitter about something.
Oh, really?
So I'm very curious. Apart from the fact that would mean that, yes, again, they brought in someone to try and pretend that Peter Cullen. I'm very curious about why we have very clearly Peter Cullen, then very clearly John Bailey. If you're listening for it, the first time around I didn't hear it, and someone said, "Is that John Bailey?" And I went, "What?" And I went back and heard it, and just like, that is John Bailey.
Oh no!
He's saying like, I can't confirm or deny if it's me, and I was just like,
that means
one,
it's
that's
him.
suspicious.
That's
and
very
two,
suspicious.
Your version of Optimus Prime is very hard for anyone else to do. You have a very certain intonation to it, so intriguing.
Yeah.
Maybe Cullen couldn't do all the lines.
Sure. Maybe it's just a filler in for the moment. Like maybe Peter hasn't done all of the lines just yet, so it's like we'll get John to cover the lines for the moment. I don't know.
Yeah, very, very possible. It's not unheard of for voice actors sometimes to have some lines dubbed over by someone else. For whatever reason. Like I think the most famous one I know of is like Lion King. Jeremy Irons in Scar's song. The last half of it is not done by him.
Oh, really? Who's it done by?
It's done by a completely different actor.
Oh
God, he's one of those big Disney fallbacks. He didn't play. I think he might have played Winnie the Pooh. Oh, what's his name? Scar song singer Lion King. But yeah, so it wouldn't shock me if like there was a couple of Jim Cummings. Oh, how did not remember Jim Cummings? That's bad. That's very bad. But it'd be kind of interesting to see. I don't know. I was curious. Any thoughts on that, Andy?
On Jim Cummings?
Like, do you like him? But on like maybe this weird stuff with the two voices, one Prime.
I'm not thinking too much about it, to be honest, just because it is only a trailer at the moment. If it's like this in the movie, then that is certainly an eye raise, and you go, at the moment, it's just promotional stuff, so don't worry about it.
The other thing, however, is something that's definitely in the movie.
Yes.
Or at least was designed for the movie. It could just be one of those things that's in the trailers only, because we get to see some of the Cybertron footage. And specifically, we get to see two Transformers that have appeared in the movieverse before. Three, actually. We get to see Optimus, Soundwave, and Ravage. And to say they look a tad different might be a little bit of an understatement. They would have a hard time convincing me this is not a reboot after this.
Why is that, Mikey?
Okay, I'm going to say this. I want this to be taken entirely in the spirit of what it's meant. Okay, guys?
No.
Okay? They look like Optimus, Soundwave, and Ravage. Especially Soundwave and Ravage.
Yeah.
Especially Soundwave and Ravage. Optimus, I've got screenshots up on the Moonbase to Twitter if anyone wants to see. But Optimus looks very G1. He's even got the big Autobot emblem on his shoulder. Which I don't think I've ever seen anyone with a big emblem in the movieverse. Ever. And Soundwave, you get to see him very, very clear, very, very G1.
Mm-hmm.
He deploys Ravage, and Ravage looks like a gigantic robot cat thing.
Yep,
Not a gigantic robot Cyclops.
Yeah, whatever that he was in Revenge of the Fallen.
I've heard people say this looks too much like a video game cutscene, and they don't like the graphic quality. One, I would say early days still.
Yep.
This will be finalized right up until the end. And two, I would say this looks more like the kind of CGI you were seeing in Ready Player One.
And I'd much rather see this than live action stuff, personally.
Yeah.
Even if it's
same
not
here.
great CG, I'd have this 1,000 times over any of the live action bits.
You know, there's some stylization, like Soundwave's mouth plate is quite stylized.
Yep.
It's got lots of, like, it looks a bit more like Blitzwings.
It's still movie stuff. I mean, they're still movie slanted, shall we say. Which
But Andy, we were told we could never ever have these designs.
That was one crazy man and his weird boob dream.
Yeah, you are kind of becoming convinced that Travis Knight at least wants to do good.
Yeah, it seems like it.
And the design team and everyone else behind Bumblebee, they're people who clearly want to do something good with this, even if it's shit.
It's almost like they went, you know what? Maybe we should try and make these movies for the fans, or at least edge aspects more towards the fans, because the movie could still be shit. We don't know. Yeah. I saw a lot of people freaking out about this stuff, and I was like, they're neat, but I have been hurt far too many times to put hope into this. My eyebrow was raised though when I saw this personally, and I went, okay, I'm interested. You've got my attention. I don't trust you, but you've got my attention.
Oh, dear. For me, like I've always said, these movies have been existing in this weird early 2000s state of embarrassed of what you are.
Yes, yes.
The Power Rangers movie is actually the same, except that its good bits are a bit more sincere, whereas everything to do with Power Rangers, it's very clearly embarrassed by.
There is one thing that wasn't answered, though, in this teaser trailer, Mikey. Who is Rebecca?
Who is Rebecca? Anyone tell me.
No one's told
Why does
Mikey.
She spell her name? Why does she spell her name with a K?
It's cool.
Who does that?
Cool people.
No, it's not.
Hipsters.
But yeah, I've always said like what they should be doing is move into the post Iron Man era.
Yes.
And these are giving me. I can't say hope. And I can't say trust.
Would you say a raised level of interest?
Yes, an elevated sense of intent.
Yes.
But yeah, and it is. I do sort of wonder if what really happened was Michael Bay was sitting there, with his crayons drawing the new design for a movie and saying like, "This is gonna explode. This is gonna explode," and Travis Knight just came up behind him with chloroform and then just he's in a closet somewhere. And they're just like, no. Michael Bay retreated from the film. It's just like, shh.
I have a feeling that was more a Hasbro person after they looked at how much money the last movie didn't make.
Yeah.
That's more than likely what happened.
Yeah. I've got, like, if nothing else, the guys making these trailers clearly know what to put into it.
Yeah. At least to get people. I mean, these aren't even the trailers. These are the preview for the trailers, which is always a fucking bizarre concept, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to a trailer for the trailer.
Yeah. 2 trailers for the trailer, technically.
Yeah.
But hey,
which means we've seen 30 seconds of a 2-minute trailer.
But hey ho, Mikey, at least they've shown us something that we can talk about on this week's show.
Yeah. I want to see more. Like,
you will tomorrow.
But I heard rumors that there were going to be quite a few characters in the Cybertron scene.
All right.
And we see some Seekers as well in the distance. So I'm assuming they're Seekers.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see what it's like. I don't know. Could we have a real Grimlock? That would be nice.
Yeah. Don't push your luck, Mikey.
Superion? Laserbeak at least. I set that up.
Mikey, I think we should worry about them getting the characters down for the few characters that they've got so far before adding in any more and then having no one done well.
They've got Soundwave and he talks like Gary Chalk in Cybertron.
Oh, that'd be weird.
I'm gonna drop this sound beat.
Oh, jeez, that would be bad.
Remember that?
I do. I don't want it, but I do. I definitely do.
Yeah, the microphone.
Yeah. Phooey. Shall we move on, Mr. Mikey?
Yes, let's.
Well, then, let me tell you, Mr. Mikey, that Prime Wars Punch Counterpunch came out, and it had a problem, didn't it?
Or did it?
You tell me, Mikey, what was the problem that faced, well, let's call it the shoulder fix issue?
Okay, so I got dragged into this, and
How did you get dragged into this? You don't even have one.
I know, I just asked a question, and then it suddenly imploded.
Well, that was your first mistake.
So yeah, Punch Counterpunch came out. He's in an original mold, and people were noticing there was a problem where in vehicle mode he didn't seem to lock together properly. The two sides of the hood it didn't work, and people were looking and they noticed that the CAD model has at the shoulders they have a square bit. It's squared off at the top. However, on the actual toy it's rounded off. What everyone was saying is that the shoulders were put in upside down. So people tested this. There's a fix. It's a bit of a fiddle, but it's a fix. People tested it out, and suddenly the car works perfectly. There's like locking. It actually the shoulders click into place now.
Right.
And people are just like, okay, cool. So this is a fix, and no one talked about it. And then the Allspark weighed in, and then I just saw people arguing about it for 3 days straight on various forums and Twitter and everything else. Because the Allsparks did a full news article. POTP Punch Counterpunch is not misassembled. So a user over in Discord who I will not, the Allsparks Discord, who I will not say, because I do not want to call him out.
Is it you?
No. Said some folks over at Cybertron and TFW are claiming PCP is... Okay. Punch Counterpunch is arriving with his shoulder joint misassembled and are fixing him. While this does improve clearance a bit, it's not a misassembly. He's explaining below. Goes over like the tabs and everything else. However, since not everyone knows this, some people are opening up Punch Counterpunch to try and transform him better. They take off the shoulder joint. However, this is not correct. He's always had the shoulder joint with the round side up and flat side down in all stock photos for Hasbro and Takara. Comes correctly assembled, it's just that the shoulder fix just makes PCP more convenient to transform. This is not meant to deter those who wish to make a modification. It's up to you. I just want to clarify and give a heads up. And this got quite a few comments on Allspark, and
Positive
people basically
ones?
started bringing out... Not so much. So people started bringing out copies of the CAD model from the actual instructions, which showed that the flat side was facing up and the round side was facing down. And then people went off and rants about how have you seen Hasbro and Takara stock photos over the years. And some people took this a wee bit personally. Some people didn't. Some people had the tone of, a respectful bit of discourse. One person went off on a rant about how, well, yeah, but now if the shoulders get loose, his arms are going to drop down over time. And now it was weird. It's weird. But basically, if you've got Punch Counterpunch, basically force the chest open and swap the shoulders around. You won't stress the plastic.
Mm-hmm.
It should be fine. There are instructional videos, but it's very easy to do. And he will transform better. And please don't talk on the internet about it. Ever. To anyone.
No talkie. No talkie.
Nope. So yeah, it was weird. It was a weird time.
Welcome to the internet, Mikey. It's a
very
weird place.
Mm.
That's how people do, Mikey. That's how people do.
That's kind of your Moonbase 2 public service announcement.
Yes, yeah. I mean, would you do the fix, Mikey? Do you think it needs fixing?
I mean, if it improves the transformation, like if the transformation just isn't working because of it, I think it's kind of needed. But
do you think it's strange that a simple switch around of the shoulders is enough to change the quality of a transformation for the better?
Not really. When there's a locking point involved that doesn't activate when the shoulders are the wrong way around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can see it. We've had cases where people have swapped legs. Like some characters have come with the wrong legs or the wrong arms or something, and it's very easy to throw off a transformation. Like even if I saw one there, the hands were reversed by accident, and because of the divots for the fingers, it didn't work properly anymore.
Right.
For the transformation, I saw that years ago, but it's just like this. The engineering is clearly being hampered. So hey ho.
Hey ho.
It's not a big deal.
No, but like you say, it's
shut up about it.
Yeah, it's something that's interesting, and for the people that want to do it, it's a good thing to do, I guess, if you want. If you like to customize your toys a little bit, even if in a minor way, go for it.
Yeah.
So, Mikey, why don't you tell us about the very
anything-
last story, sir?
Yeah, so official Transformers Instagram answered some questions about the Siege Leader Class Ultra Magnus. So over on the Instagram, they took, which is actually a very fun Instagram to watch if you ever get a chance. They took some stories from some questions about the upcoming Generations Leader Class Ultra Magnus. So they've confirmed he will not come with a hammer, but Wreckers fans should keep a lookout for one in the line. I don't want to be that guy, but did he ever use it in Wreckers?
I don't think so. I don't recall
Unless
him
he,
using it in Wreckers.
Unless they go Prime Ultra Magnus.
Hmm.
But the suggestion here is probably a Battle Master with a hammer mode.
Yeah,
And
probably.
to be honest, I think that's very likely.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool if it comes to like an impact effect part.
I wonder how they do that. Like, it could go just generic, again, swoosh motion, shall we call it? Or it could be a bit more of a slam explosion on the ground kind of deal.
I think it'd be neat. Like if you had a peg in the front of the hammer or something, you just plug it into.
Sure, yeah.
Regarding shoulder cannons, the combat system will allow fans to select either shoulder cannons or G1 style shoulder missiles. I'm assuming this means that he'll have other weapons or, Battle Masters or something else. You can just swap them out.
Yeah, probably.
To give him different weapons. Right? He'll be about 8 inches tall. The robot mode is obviously very inspired by G1, with details from the original Japanese concept art. His vehicle mode is inspired by 2001 RID Ultra Magnus, God Magnus, whatever his name was. Leader Class Ultra Magnus will not have a hover mode. But Micromasters will be able to ride in the trailer. I think the hover mode thing is because a lot of people have been asking that, and Hasbro have said they might integrate that at some point, but I would also say they're not going to integrate that on the toys like this, because, these are all made. To be fair, the hover mode is something I wouldn't put your money on, guys.
No.
Just because I'm not entirely sure a car works when there's just a big flat space on the bottom, and unless you can actually make it hover.
Yeah.
So any thoughts on this, Andy?
Not really. A nice little bit of extra information, I suppose, but for me, it's not that big of a deal. I'm more interested in when the toy actually comes out, kind of thing, or rather when the Decepticons are shown, I should say.
Yeah, kind of. I'm assuming that's going to be at NYCC.
It has to be. Do you know when that is? That's before the end of the year, isn't it?
A couple of weeks, I think.
Is it? No.
Very close.
No. You're probably
Comic-Con. There was something about like some exclusive were hinted for it already, but it's not far away.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Fun times for us to talk about stupid things, which is always a plus.
Yeah.
Woo. Well then, Mr. Mikey, that's us done for this week, at least for Transformers news. That's good, yes?
Yes.
Then, Mikey, tell me, sir, what have you been up to this week? What's Mikey done for fun? What are the things that you've been doing?
Ooh, let's see. Continued my Spider-Man catch-up read thing.
Oh, yes, how's that going?
Still haven't gone to like the Dan Slott stuff yet, but still reading a few miniseries. Big one was I've caught up on Renew Your Vows.
Okay.
Which is the alternate universe story that spun out of the Secret Wars book, which was the latest in a series of attempting to rip off names for other events.
Okay.
Secret Wars. I don't know if it was called Secret Wars or Secret Wars 2.
I think it was just Secret Wars, wasn't it?
Yeah, but in the last 3 years, they've done Civil War 2, Secret Wars, whatever, and they're doing Infinity War again.
No.
Yes.
I mean, that's clearly just a cash grab on the movie.
And also, they did an event a little while ago called Infinity as well, which was
yes, I remember. That was a while ago, wasn't it?
Few years,
yeah,
4 years maybe. But that was also kind of, So hey, Thanos keeps getting those gems.
He do.
But basically, the story is that Mary Jane and Peter are still married. They're existing in a world which is sort of post an event where a guy tried to kill off most of the superheroes, and steal their powers.
Generic guy or a named guy?
Regent. I've never heard of him before, but
Regent.
But yeah, so he did all that. They beat him, mostly with the help of Peter's daughter. She was a big part of this. What is it? Annie Maria.
Yeah.
Annie Maria. I think her name is Annie Maria Parker, because she has spider powers, and the first issue is about her basically being accepted by her mother and her father as, being a superhero, like in training.
Mm-hmm.
So she becomes Spiderling, and Mary Jane has powers.
Spiderling.
Spiderling. Mary Jane has powers in this.
What's a power?
Peter's powers.
Oh.
So Regent had a suit that let him copy people's powers, like he beat the Hulk using the Hulk's own strength.
Right.
So they took that technology, made a derivative of it, and now she can imitate his powers.
Okay.
The thing is, more she kind of has priority, and the more she uses, the weaker he gets.
Right. Oh, you mean Spider-Man gets weaker?
Yeah. So he's never at full strength when she's around.
Ah.
But she can be at full strength when he's there. Just he'll be left, unconscious. But yeah, she's got a really nice suit actually. They're basically color same pattern as Spider-Man's, but different color schemes.
Right.
So I really like her suit, and her character, her superhero name is Spinneret.
Oh God.
Yep. So there is a running thing about Spiderling is not a name that anyone likes.
No, I'm not surprised. It's terrible.
Yeah. So the first half of the series is 8-year-old Annie, and then it's Annie May. Yeah, that's Annie May, not Annie Maria.
Hang on, did you say anime?
Oh God, that just hit me. And then the second half, it is teenage Annie, so there's an 8-year time skip.
Right.
And Nick Roach did some art for some of the later issues involving the lizard. It's a really, really fun read. There's a lot of really good humor in it. Mary Jane is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
She's really good in this book. Like, really likes you. I want to see superhero Mary Jane in general. Like, she's super cool in this. It's hilarious to see Peter as a dad because he's still the same guy completely.
Oh no!
And there's a great moment where Annie hasn't gotten her superhero name yet, and she's in the middle of a fight. She falls down, and Mary Jane goes, "Annie, are you okay?" And that's in the corner here. "Annie, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you okay, Annie?"
I was really hoping you were going to do that. I was thinking it.
I did it like in the teenage years. He does the same thing, and she's like, "Dad, I will kill you." And I love the fact that he's just that. That is just who Peter Parker is.
He's a fucking nerd.
Yeah, he's us. He's great. But yeah, it's a really good read. I really recommend it. It's coming to an end. No, actually, it has ended. Sorry, this week. Would love to see these characters revisited again.
Mm-hmm.
Not with like the Marvel way of revisiting, where something wonderful happens and then you murder everyone in it. But no, really good read. Like a really good Spider-Man read if you want to feel a bit just fun. None of the heavy nonsense that sometimes leaks its way in. Just fun read. I got a Transformer-cator in the week from the JD.
Sorry, you got a what?
A Transformer-cator. That's what I'm calling them.
Okay.
I got Mastermind Creations Annihilator.
Oh.
Which is old school, kids. So this is one of their original figures. So the very first times anyone really did a brand new mold figure. Like, certainly one of the times it caught the eye of people. And this was the IDW Hearts of Steel Optimus mold, which was redone into Shatterglass, Nemesis, and Ultra Magnus colors.
Right.
So the Nemesis one, the problem with the Optimus one is that there were a lot of QC issues that made the toy basically unplayable. And with the Nemesis one, they updated all of those, and then I think they later released a version of the Optimus with the updates.
Okay.
And I've been fascinated by this toy for years. So it was on sale on BBTS. Jai, not Andy, you're Andy.
I am.
Jai acted as a middleman for me, and there we go. Got it. It is fascinating.
How so?
Like, really cool design. But it is fascinating to see this early stage of engineering, especially when you compare it to the kind of stuff Mastermind produces today.
Yeah, because technically it's really old now at this point, isn't it?
2011.
Oh my God.
But
it's
even
nearly,
then, like...
It's nearly 10 years old, Mikey.
Yeah, but like if I had a Masterpiece toy now, I expect 10 years later it would... Or a Mastermind toy now. 10 years later, I'd expect it to be fine. You know?
Yeah.
No major issues. But it's fascinating because the QC on this is just so not up to what we would consider snuff.
Yeah, I mean, Mastermind did start off in a not ropier place, I suppose. They weren't terrible, but they were certainly not as good as they have become.
Yeah, and they were one of the first ones again. Like one of the other early first ones was the Rolling Thunder Prime
Oh
by
yeah.
Exo over Gen.
Oh dear.
And yeah, like
no.
the QC in this, like there's wobbly joints. I had to loosen the screws on the shoulders, just because the arm rotation was too tight. What else? Trying to like the trailer. You're supposed to be able to store some stuff under it, but the holes are just a little bit too tight on one or two pieces. There's also an issue with the cannon in the trailer where it'll split. The glue seems to split a bit too easily.
Right.
So it doesn't hold together perfectly. And getting it back together can sometimes be a bit of a faff when you're putting everything back together. But all that aside, like I'm not saying these as criticisms. This is a historical piece of Transformers engineering. Like this was a moment that has taken over a lot of the fandom buying. This was a kicker. This was a big thing, and the design is great. All the joints are there. The things are great articulation for the age. Transformations very simple, very classics, but very fun. Looks amazing. Oh, get the light behind it, and oh, Andy. Oh, light piping.
Light piping.
Oh yes. It's beautiful. It is a beautiful figure. Fun to transform. Just these issues with the QC and everything else, and it's just like, I don't care. I'm just fascinated by this. This is like this is a page out of history. I don't know if it's still cheap enough on BBTF. If it was, and you can also be interested in this as much as a historical piece as a toy,
right?
Really consider picking it up. It's fascinating, and I love it. I love it to death. And it helps that I really like the Hearts of Steel, and it's the first Nemesis I've ever owned.
Really?
I've never owned another Nemesis Prime.
I'm surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised, but I would have thought you would have had some at some point earlier.
The ones that I do like are usually on the expensive side.
That's
so,
true.
Like
You do have exquisite taste.
So yeah. And like the ones that are easier to get are usually the less good.
It's true,
in my opinion.
Did you get that really small Bumblebee? The cute one that everybody bought at one point, because Jai got that and he said that was pretty good.
The Hearts of Steel one or the G1 one?
The G1 one. It wasn't from
No.
The hero guys.
No,
it
no.
was from another guy. I mean, you could go for the Hearts of Steel one as well, because that was pretty good.
Well,
you got that.
I've got the Heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know of that Bumblebee, and I know people flip out about it. But
Yeah.
I think, is it called Flipper?
I'm gonna say yes, but I don't know.
It might be, but no. But like seriously, like this is fascinating. Really want to try picking up one of the planes because they were the next stage. I want to see if the engineering improved.
Weren't they fragile?
Maybe, I don't know. I know that the Shockwave had a lot of problems with broken tabs.
Yeah.
But you know, really just fascinating to me. It's just really interesting.
History, yo.
Yeah. And history no one thinks about. You know,
how dare they?
Like, everyone keeps record. Like, we've got a wiki tracking every official Transformers toy. And trying to keep track of all the third-party ones, on the other hand, it's just like... It's come so far, and now we've got so many companies doing so many different styles and approaches and engineering, and we've taken it for granted, and eventually the floor is going to fall out from under it. And we're all going to be a bit shocked when it does, I think.
Why do you think it's going to fall out? Because it's been going for so long at this point.
Because nothing can go on. Like either Transformers will fall back into kind of an 80s 90s thing or die completely, and the fandom will die off because that's what happens. At least in the mass fandom appeal, and the money won't be there for these guys to keep doing it, or someone in Hasbro Legal will like throw down a boot and say, nope, we've decided we're just tired of these. Full stop.
See, I don't know about the first one you mentioned, because I think if Hasbro stops and Transformers does fall through, I think that is the perfect time for third-party companies to really ramp up hard, and it's only the hardcore fans that are buying the stuff anyway, so it'd be more than likely the hardcore fans that would keep the third-party stuff going. And if there's no other Transformers to go for, it might push more people to go to that.
Perhaps.
If you see my sayings.
I do.
I don't know. I mean, you know, wait and see kind of thing, as with all things.
What else did I do? I watched Zeo or Geo. I don't know how I'm supposed to pronounce
Zeo. We'll go with that.
I'll wait until... Like, I'm never going to say Genmu. Because it's not spelled that way.
No.
Genm.
It's not said that way either.
No, it's Genm.
Yep.
The Genmu is something that they added onto overtime subs.
Fuck overtime.
Or whatever subs. Overtime confuses me.
TV Nihon, no others.
I like some of the ones that came in later. Just Overtime as well. I've noticed like they've started putting the names correctly instead of reversing them into the anglicized order.
Oh, well, that's good at least.
Which I always thought was really weird. It's just like, don't do that. It's not his name.
No,
that's not his name.
Yeah, like
that's weird. There's a Star Trek episode that actually touches on this and says it's really rude to do that. But that's the first part of the Exade episode.
Oh, yes.
Remarkably little Exade in it.
Oh.
Brave shows up briefly, but Exade's only in at the end.
Okay.
And I don't know what to make of this one yet. The show's still in its setup phase. Still liking how they're doing the powers way more than other anniversary shows have done it. Because their powers inspired by the writers, not just I'm using writer powers.
Right, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Gates as a character is still very flat for me. We've got a new villain introduced. We're just setup phase. We're still very, very clearly in setup phase.
Sure.
So I'm not going to go into it in too much depth. I will say I do like episode 4 needs to kind of hit it with M stuff, because that's a big character in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was a big character in Japan. And also they've said that they're going to have a Genom suit in there at some point. So I'm very curious to see is he going to come in a different episode? Kuroto? Because apparently the Fies episode is going to have an actor from Forza in it. Or the Forza episode is going to have some Fies actors.
Really? Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, the only other thing of note is that I watched The Dragon Prince on Netflix.
Oh, that show.
Which is the new show from some of the creators from Avatar, not the big creators from Avatar. They're currently working on Avatar.
Woo!
Live action.
Woo!
Not getting into that here, I think, but
Fuck them.
I'm just not looking forward for it's live action, and the thing that sells these days is Game of Thrones, so let's put in titties. And I feel like you're going to be more uncomfortable with the love story when it involves an actual physical child. I have mixed feelings about that. But yeah, Dragon Prince, basic premise. There is a world, it had 6 types of magic, all themed around various elemental things. Humans came up with a 7th type of magic, which is basically drain magical energy from living things and convert that, and it's called dark magic. And by discovery of this, dragons and elves drove us out. They created a border. A dragon patrolled the border. He was killed, and his child was supposedly killed at the same time in revenge by humans. And some elves didn't take that very well and are leading an assassination attempt on the human king. And the main characters are 2 princes who are caught in the middle, and 1 elf who doesn't want to be a murderer. And it is about finding out what happened to the dragon prince. And we've got our, a lot of politics and stuff like that. It's only 9 episodes, and I think that kind of didn't do it any favors this time around. So, get the bugbear out of the way. The animation style is Avatar The Last Airbender. It's identical to that with some 3D. The problem is they've done this thing where they want to have, quote, emulate 2-dimensional animation. So we've got lots of frames missing.
I wonder what the real reason is, because that sounds like some bull hockey.
Yeah. Well, it's really bad in the first couple of episodes, because there is a scene where someone opened the door and it literally looks like I thought the video had frozen. And then suddenly the door's on the other thing. And then there's another one where one of the main characters is getting a hug. And again, I thought the video had frozen.
Oh no.
And it's like, some people have defended it. It's a stylistic choice. It doesn't make it like, in my head, I can hear sounds. I can hear clicking every time the frame jumps a bit like that.
Yeah.
But then they switch to like the action stuff and the frame rate skyrockets. So at least it means I don't have to watch the really choppy animation for the fight scenes. But 2, that's kind of the Energon thing of, we can't do what we're doing in the style we're doing it, so we need to up our game, But in later episodes, the frame rate improves dramatically. It still has a bit of the choppiness, but I think it was basically, we had our pilot story, we did that, and then we came back to it a few months later once the show was accepted, and this is the stuff we were doing as a norm.
Right.
Once you get past the animation, because some people can't, and it took me about an hour to get used to it. And to be honest, I got used to it when we changed over to the better animation. This is a pretty good show. I like the writing. I like all the characters. There's a moral gray area to several of the characters, particularly the villains, but some of the inverted commas heroes that I find very fun. I like the designs of the dragons and stuff like that. There's a little bit of a horror element, a little bit of violence, a lot of death, a lot of dead people. A lot of dead people. There is some really cool stuff with the main elf. I really, really like her. Plus, there's an interesting design choice where the elves have horns, which I like. The two main princes are not annoying in any way, shape, or form. They have a magic frog called Bait. He is named because apparently he is very tasty. But it's a show I would say is worth checking out. Yeah, and should tide you over. Hopefully it won't be too long away. I'm hoping they're going with like a Voltron-esque release schedule.
That'd be neat.
Technically we haven't had a confirmation of a season 2, but it would be very odd to end it here.
Yeah.
Very, very strange. And also did the next season of Voltron I was missing, which was season 4, which I call... No, there's 7 seasons.
Oh god, okay, never mind.
Again, a weird breakup thing. There was only 6 episodes in the season.
Right.
So, But this is what I call the spinning the wheels phase.
Oh no.
Because not much happens.
Mm-hmm.
They introduce a major character. He's in the background a fair bit. Not much happens apart from that. Shiro's a bit dodgy. And then it ends with something to do with Keith and the new character. And yeah. So one thing that Keith doesn't get as much focus as he did before, which is weird, which is good, but I was kind of hoping his character would have developed more, and he's still kind of a shithead in this. But the cow gets an awesome moment. The cow gets a whole subplot. They have a cow called Colton Pepper or something like that. But no, it wasn't a bad season at all. It was just okay, you're clearly stalling. And now there's a hilarious Voltron versus Dragon Prince rivalry in fandoms where both sides are being very vicious to each other.
Why? Why can't they both just exist?
Very vicious. I don't know. Why can't you like both shows? Why do you have to pick one better? They're both, one is a 9 episode into its first run, and it seems good. Could be shit next season.
Yep.
The other one, it's 7 seasons in, and up until a month and a half ago, you all loved it. Andy, what about you? What has your week been like?
I'm trying to think what I've been up to, and I can't think of a huge amount, really, to be honest. I don't think I've done a huge amount.
Have you been pregnant?
I have been for 9 solid hours. Pregnant for 9 solid hours. No, what did I get up to? I was just getting bits through the post. I got a hand drill. I got some drill bits that aren't the right size for all the things I needed to do, so I needed to buy some more drill bits. These are all for Games Workshop kind of modeling, kind of nonsense woo-woo. I got some green stuff, again, for more modeling, so I can put some stuff into other stuff, and I got some super glue to glue some more stuff to other stuff as well. Yeah, all of the Dark Souls 3 videos are up now to watch on my YouTube channel. That's all sorted. I've started a Dark Souls 2 run for my buddy Mr. Chris because he said he would like to see that, so I've started that. Had some problems with my audio recording software, or rather my portable audio recorder. Nothing wrong with the recorder, but I've finished the batteries it came with, and I got some basic bitch Kodak batteries, which you get for £1 or something from Poundland, and they do not last compared to the batteries it came with originally. It lasted one sitting, and they're pretty much dead. So I might need to get some better batteries again, so it actually lasts a significant amount of time for when I'm actually doing some audio recordings.
Yeah.
Did we put out an extra podcast this week or last week?
No. We did. We did the IDW.
Yes, the IDW retrospective went out officially, so that people can listen to that if they want to on the various ways you can. I think that's about it, really. All of the significant fancy stuff, anyway. Everything else has just been generic kind of working and all that bobbins. So, yeah, I can't entertain people with anything too much, unfortunately. So I guess this is a good point to end the show, Mr. Mikey, since I got nothing. Where can people find you on the internet, Mr. Mikey, if you want them to, of course?
You can find me on Twitter as Irish Paleo, on YouTube as GWolfies3, and if you want to contact the podcast, you can do it on Twitter at the Moonbase2. You can also send us an email at themoonbase2@gmail.com. I have to send off a questionnaire for a certain thing I've been planning to do this week, which will hopefully we will have some interesting stuff. The comic show, I hope we'll be able to do it next week. I think all 3 issues are coming out, but if they don't, I don't know. We might have to delay it until the first week of October and make it a double one then. And I'm just like, IDW's release schedule, kids.
It's messing us up.
Yeah. I think that's it for me. What about you, Andy?
I actually remembered what I did do. I watched a full playthrough of the Spider-Man game.
Oh, I did that too, but I didn't want to go on about it.
Yeah. Man, that's a good game.
Oh.
In terms of, it's not entirely fair to judge its story versus Homecoming, since Homecoming's only 2 hours and Spider-Man game is like a lot more.
20.
Yeah. But I like that story in that video game a lot more than Homecoming.
I like that story a lot more than any Spider-Man movie I've ever seen.
I mean,
but again, it's an epic. It's it's a 20-hour epic versus but it's like, again, it's not embarrassed by what it is. Yuri Lowenthal, please do Spider-Man in every cartoon.
Oh, is that the voice actor?
Yeah, apparently, Yuri the cop?
No.
Who has to deal with Spider Cop.
Oh, yeah.
That's his wife.
No way, really?
So, yeah.
No wonder there's so much disdain in her voice.
Yeah.
That's been born from years of being married. Excellent. That makes a lot of sense.
I can just imagine. Who are you playing in this? I'm playing Yuri. Oh, I'm going to have fun with this. I will never sleep with you again.
No, that's a damn good game. Damn good game.
That is a game created by people who both get gameplay and get the franchise.
The only thing I would like to have changed about it is I wish it wasn't real life, in quotations, graphics. I wish it was the stylized graphics.
Oh, man. Like, not the Spider-Verse graphics, per se, because that was a bit too Disney for me.
Shall we say, like, one of the costumes available?
Yeah. There's a great costume in it, and if you had that animated vibe, that would be cool. And because that way you could also do like different skins for Peter as well as different skins for Spider-Man.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
They were fucking geniuses with those suits, by the way.
For the most part, there were a few where I'm like, I don't know.
Not necessarily that, but how the powers work.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
that was such a clever, simple thing to do.
Yes.
Just like, hey, do you like this suit? Yep. Do you like this power that's not associated with this? Yep. Just put them together. I
was actually told as well that the whole the fighting system's like Batman. Apparently, it's not. It's apparently based off a Spider-Man game that was in Spider-Man 2 originally. Yeah. So I was like, sweet. So Batman took it.
Yeah, there's loads of Spider-Man 2 references in there, like that, because that is the Spider-Man game before now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
But yeah, the Spider-Man combat system's always been very Arkham-y.
Yeah, it's very
or rather,
good.
Arkham's always been very spidery.
Yeah.
But no, it's like good game.
Neither I nor Mikey have a PlayStation, but if you do, you should definitely be playing it.
Yeah. Like, listen, PS1 Classic was announced this week, and I was just like, oh, I really would want that. And then Andy said, don't you need a PS4?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, I do, because that game.
Yeah. And God of War. That of Boy.
Yeah, and God of War, and Nier.
Yeah. Lots of stuff.
I was going to say and Devil May Cry, but that's on lots of consoles, so I could technically have anyone.
Potentially.
And Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Don't want to get into that rant.
No. But yeah, the
game looks great.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Spider-Man, pretty good.
The things around the game, not so much great, but the game itself looks fine.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll see, I guess.
Spider-Man, just like, if you can't buy it, watch a playthrough.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's one of those games it's one of those games I could very happily sit on a couch and watch someone play next to me.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So, because it's just everything about it's engaging.
When you actually mentioned about the PlayStation Replay, is that what it's called?
I don't honestly know what the name is.
Whatever it's called, I thought to myself, for me, I know a lot of people might be really psyched for it, but for me, I would get a few hours out of it and then never want to play it because I'd want to play the newer games.
It's not just that. It's like there's 20 games in it.
Yeah.
And they have confirmed, like the SNES Classic and everything else, you're not going to have any update to that.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Which I would much, much rather get a hold of an old console. Because there's hundreds of great games on PS1.
Oh, that's a lot.
And there's hundreds of great games on PS2, and there's hundreds of great games on PS3, and narrowing it down to 20, that's a very... Oh, these are the 20 that we think everyone will love.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, maybe not. Like, you've got Final Fantasy VII and Wild Arms. Maybe not great to have two big sprawling JRPGs in it.
Maybe not, as they're going to be eating up a lot of room, one could imagine.
Yeah. So I'd rather just get the old console, make sure it was working, and then, or like one of those rip-off consoles that can play stuff, and just get the old games and play those.
Surely you would think you'd be able to make a system where you could download stuff, games from the PlayStation Store on your PlayStation 4 and then transfer it over via a USB or something.
I don't know. I think they were very... Because there was stuff like that early on with 3DS?
Right.
2DS. But that led to a lot of piracy.
Well, let's be fair. At least in my eyes, I think I would rather get an emulator that would have all games rather than just 20.
You know, what's the secret about playing PS1 games if you can't afford PS1? You can get literally every game for free in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And with absolutely no one tries to stop you.
No.
Ever. Sony doesn't care. They've made their money.
I think they care a little bit.
They don't care a lot. Like,
not a lot. Not to the point where they want to go a huge amount of their way, it seems.
No, but like the emulator stuff, it's pretty uninhibited.
Yeah, or it has been. I don't think that's changed anyway.
No.
Anyway, you can find me on Twitter as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find me on YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. Oh, sorry, Twitter as CCTFW, YouTube as Cobra Commander TFW. You can find this podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums. We're on Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn, all those fancy RSS places, and you can find us on YouTube as well as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. And if you want to support the show, get stuff early, get the extended versions of other things, and get Moonbase Woo Woo, you can head over to patreon.com/Moonbase2 and do $2 each month, and you get all of those benefits and all that kind of jazz as well. And if you want to head over to the ccbunker.weebly.com, you can get most of my stuff and woo-woo that way as well, if you like. So that'll do us, Mr. Mikey. We're done for this week. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! So thank you, sir, for joining me, and I will catch you next week, Mr. Mikey.
I will talk to you soon.
And we will catch you next week.
Lex week.
Lex week. That's Lex Luthor's
Presented
week.
By... Yeah. How did he become president?
You are now leaving Moonbase 2.